Okay, so the peppers are doing pretty well. Added some more magnesium to them to kind of help keep them nice and green and healthy. Every once in a while I have to come through and trim off a blighted leaf from this jalapeno plant, but it's really doing well. It's producing a lot of jalapenos. I already have like 4 of them in my kitchen. I'm excited to make pepper jelly. That is going to be my plan for this year. This right here is a daikon radish. These are huge Asian radishes, and I am really interested to see how big that's going to get because they always look so big in the store. As you can see, the zucchinis are taking over the world. I had to trim back pretty much like half of this plant because it is exploding into the walkway, and it had a ton of powdery mildew on it. As you can see, there's some here, but I'm just trying to be careful not to take too many of the leaves because they do still need the leaves for photosynthesis. However, you can trim them back pretty heavily to keep the powdery mildew down. So like that leaf right there. And you don't want to compost those because they have the mildew on them, so you will want to just like throw those in the garbage. And just trim it off the rest of the way. I put bricks under mine to support them, you know, since they're climbing into my walkway. And that is the spaghetti squash plant. It is going all the way up there, and then it climbed over here and up onto this part, and it's still going. And this is going to be a spaghetti squash plant. I am going to have to build a support for that because I think it's going to get huge. Every once in a while I have to go in and clip dead stuff off of my Kentucky Wonder Beans because of course the zucchinis are choking them out. And but they're finally growing up this pole, and that is really what they're supposed to be doing. They're pole beans. I just harvested a green zucchini off of this guy earlier, and I hand-pollinated rather is the term. I hand-pollinated a bunch of these yesterday because there was no room. There's no room for the pollinators to get in, and so I had to pollinate a few of them myself. I'm just trying to cut off this piece here. Trimmed up my kale this morning. This was like bushes and bushes and bushes. Blackberries, yay! The blackberries are coming. They're looking so good. Raspberries are coming too. Those are gonna be delicious. Those leaves are curling up here. I might just trim some of these. We'll see. Some of them are bladed. It's been really, 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 really hot here lately, and it was a little bit rainy last night, like a light sprinkle, which was just perfect, and I think it's gonna thunderstorm today. If you can see back in there, here's a couple blueberries that are almost ready. I snuck a few this morning and they were still pretty sour, so not quite ready. Oh, let's come over here to the cucumbers. The cucumbers are wild. Look at these guys. There's one. Where's the other one I was looking at this morning? Oh, this guy. These guys over here. Pretty soon we're gonna be having some pickles. Pickles. Or just cucumbers. Big Daddy tomatoes are doing aight. These guys are gonna be juicy and delicious. Definitely having to come back and prune these pretty frequently to make sure that the bottom leaves do not get blighted. And I can still see some of them that are, these plants are super close together, and I'm gonna have to cut quite a bit of their leaves off so that they don't get sick, because I want good tomatoes. And that white stuff is just diatomaceous earth. I put that on there just because the ants were crawling all over it. These cucumbers were looking kind of sick in the beginning, but boy, they have really taken a life of their own, which is good. I've got a yellow, sweet yellow banana pepper coming. I'm gonna have to spray for bugs. The bugs are eating my basil. My grocery store celery is doing great. This is the spinach that I planted from seed. Excuse me, already trying to go to seed. I'm just gonna have to trim this all down and like cook it for lunch or something. Just in case you didn't know, peppers are self-pollinating, so you can just kind of give them like a little tickle and that pollinates the flower. My bok choy is going to seed before it's really becoming a bok choy. I'm just gonna kind of let these go because I don't really know how to grow bok choy or like really what to do with them. So it's really hot. I'm like really hot and sweaty, and I'm glad that I'm not a man and covered in hair because I'd be angry right now. So it's like I have to clean off my camera lens. The peas are starting to yellow and brown at the bottom. They really don't like super hot weather, and it's been really hot, but they are producing so many peas. I'm out here picking them every day, sometimes twice a day. Pretty sure this guy right here is gonna just curl up and die pretty soon. Purple radishes are doing great. Purple top turnips are doing great. This whole mess this morning, I just trimmed up a whole bunch, like I cut out a whole bunch of these nasturtiums because they were just, like these are just getting choked off over here. I'm gonna have to reevaluate the planting of nasturtiums right next to marigolds, right next to turnips. That was, I blame my children. The cilantro that I planted from seed looks beautiful, and I just want to eat it. My dill bouquets are becoming bouquets. This was another daikon radish that I thought, well, why the heck not just, you know, stick it right in the middle of the action. Wow, the oregano is just wild. I'm gonna have to trim some of that back and dry it. And that's pretty much what's going on. Freaking hot as heck, man. I'm gonna go to work today too. It's gonna rain soon. Yay, rain! Oh, strawberries. Yeah. Strawberries. So let me show you something that we've been doing. So my dad took some of the metal fencing from our apple trees and created these little pins, and we are pinning some of the bigger runners down. And just a couple days ago, this runner took off and rooted into the grass, into the bed rather. And yesterday I pinned this guy down, so he's gonna root soon too, and that's gonna be awesome. So this year we're just working on getting the plants established, getting their roots established, not getting a ton of fruit off of them, but honestly, that's okay because next year it's gonna look great and it's gonna be great. Every once in a while we get a little tiny red strawberry, and then the girls just come out here and eat them. And that's perfect. That's just what we want. Oh my God, it's so hot. I'm struggling. It's really hot. Yeah. So everything's looking really great. And come visit. Or tell me what you want and I'll bring it to work.